to a 2015 survey conducted by YouGov.com, about 54% of America, 56% of Germany, and 52% of the UK believe in extraterrestrial intelligent life. That being said, history seems to indicate that aliens may have visited our world in ancient times, aiding us at the brink of civilization. There are cave paintings like this one from Australia that may be up to 5,000 years old, that some interpret as creatures wearing spacesuits. Or this painting from 8000 BC in the Sahara Desert that illustrates what appears to be spacemen leading natives in a line.
They're just people. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying what people interpret them as.
It's a basket of fruit.
How do you think that's a basket of fruit?
It's just a basket of fruit on their head.
There's two of them with baskets of fruit, and
Why
everyone else.
Why does that one in the back also have a little basket?
Maybe as a child.
No.
Look how small the rest are. Why are these so large?
Okay.
Here's a drawing of a Mayan carving that shows a man attached to what some construe as an oxygen source as he operates controls in what appears to be a spaceship. Other fascinating objects include this hieroglyph from the Temple of Seti I that dates back to the 14th century BC. The glyph appears to contain hovering spacecrafts and modern-day flying machinery such as helicopters.
Why would there be a helicopter?
I don't know. Why would they know there's a
Are
helicopter?
they time traveling?
Possibly. I don't know. Why would they know that unless they were there was some kind of intelligent civilization that visited them that would be able to show these things?
So the aliens show up, show them pictures of helicopters, and fly away.
Well, I mean, this isn't the entire. I mean, this is what we've discovered so far. There could
Well, I
be.
can't wait to see the rest of it. I can't wait to see a poster of the motion picture Wedding Crashers and
Okay.
well, some lava lamps.
Additionally, a funerary marker from roughly 100 BC shows a woman presenting what some consider a laptop with USB ports.
How do they charge it?
I don't know.
Why are there USB ports on it if they don't have thumbnail
I
drives?
don't know. I'm just saying what.
What are they looking at on it? There's no internet. They have Photoshop?
And finally, here is a hieroglyph from Hathor Temple in Egypt that shows workers operating what appear to be enormous light bulbs, perhaps explaining how artists were able to see when drawing elaborate hieroglyphs inside their tombs. What are you drawing?
Ryan, here's you with 3 butt cheeks.
Okay.
I've drawn it. Now it exists.
Why do I have little penguin arms?
I don't know. Why do you have little penguin arms? That's a good question. Here's you with little penguin arms and 3 butt cheeks. I've drawn it, so it must be real.
But beyond these small scattered references to alien and modern technology, there are entire cities, civilizations, and architectural undertakings that make us question if we have always been alone. What follows are the best mysteries that history has to offer in regards to ancient aliens. The first mystery we'll discuss is the Dogon and Sirius B. The Dogon are a tribal group in West Africa, south of Timbuktu in the Republic of Mali that settled sometime between the 10th and 13th centuries. In the 1930s and 1940s, the studies of French anthropologists Marcel Griaule and Germaine Dieterlen revealed that the Dogon knew a surprising amount of modern astronomy. According to their studies, the Dogon believed these things, all of which are scientific facts. The planets orbit the sun. The Earth and other planets rotate on their axis. Saturn has a ring. Jupiter has 4 moons.
Hello, welcome to my channel, and it's crazy.
And finally, that the star Sirius is actually part of a double star system containing a star called Sirius B that has a 50-year orbit and is invisible to the naked human eye. Knowledge of how planets orbit would not require advanced technology. However, to know about Saturn's ring and Jupiter's moon would require remarkable eyesight and an extremely clear sky. But what is truly astonishing is the Dogon's knowledge of the star Sirius B, especially when you consider the fact that scientists were only able to discern information about Sirius B with the use of quantum mechanics, relativity, and advanced telescopes. This leads some to believe that the Dogon were taught about Sirius B by a far more advanced civilization. Dogon mythology reportedly speaks of them being visited by a set of beings referred to as the Nomo, who according to author Robert Temple are amphibious beings from the Sirius star system.
That's cool.
You have nothing to say about any of that.
I will fight you tooth and nail when it comes to ghouly ghosts, but aliens are a little more probable.
I win.
No, you don't win.
I think I won.
Because I'm sure you've got plenty of other stuff on here that's very dumb.
Though, some people have other theories, such as Robert Burnham, who believes that the Dogon could have known about Sirius B due to extraordinary eyesight. He theorizes that with a 10-inch reflecting telescope in clear skies, Sirius B could have been seen. However, if this were true, the Dogon would have also been able to see Uranus, Neptune, and other cosmic observations, which they did not. Another doubter is author Carl Sagan, who believes that the Dogen's cosmic knowledge is suspiciously consistent with an informed person from the 1930s and 40s. Sagan posits that the French anthropologists that visited during that time and broke the story of the Dogen merely entwined Sirius B into the Dogen's existing mythology to make an interesting story.
Well, look, if Carl Sagan believes it, I believe it.
But he's just saying they lied. He's just saying.
Well, then he's probably got an informed opinion. He's Carl fucking Sagan.
But all that said is he thinks they lied. That's
Well,
like
then
really-
I'm on board with Carl Sagan.
But there's no evidence to back that they
I
lied.
don't give a shit. He's Carl Sagan.
The second mystery we'll discuss is the ancient city of Tiwanaku in Bolivia, a city that was high above sea level, roughly 13,000 feet. The people of Tiwanaku utilized massive monolithic stones that weigh up to 450 tons. How the people of Tiwanaku moved these enormous stones remains a mystery. Some suggest the stones were pulled along logs, but others believe aliens may have aided with anti-gravity methods. Also discovered on the site were 200 elongated skulls, possibly the heads of shamans, whose heads were bound to that shape in an effort to amplify their ability to communicate with deities. I can't imagine it'd be a pleasurable experience. Also, you have to do that over, like, your lifetime, right? Probably. I can't imagine that's, like, a quick process.
If I were like 5 years old and my mom was like, we're gonna start doing something now. It's gonna last a long time, but when it's all over, your head will be very long. I'd probably say, I'm good. I'll just sign up for karate or something.
Conceivably, these shamans elongated their skulls to emulate the deities that visited them. Perhaps the main mystery of Tiwanaku is what instruments the people used to carve their stones to achieve such exactness without the use of power tools. For example, there are H-blocks that interlock in a detailed and sophisticated manner that require no mortar. On site, there is also a calendar that some believe dates millions of years back and made by visitors from outer space. For good measure, near Tiwanaku's Gate of the Sun is a wall decorated with heads that some believe could be aliens.
If 1,000 years from now, someone was like, wow, have you ever seen Signs? Signs, the motion picture that they made back in the day, they found aliens. It was crazy.
Okay,
They
so
ruined a kid's birthday party.
You're talking about a civilization that is us now that is able to perceive advanced art and like expression in that way. We can separate reality from not reality.
Yeah.
What I'm positing is I don't know if they had that capability back then, especially in the cave
You
painting.
don't think back then?
In the cave painting ones, you think
You
that-
don't think they were creative? My big takeaway here is that art is not proof.
Okay, sure. The third mystery is arguably the strongest indicator of ancient aliens, the pyramids of Giza. The three Giza pyramids were constructed between 2550 and 2490 BC in Egypt. They were built as tombs for the pharaohs meant to emulate and honor the gods. The first and largest pyramid, also referred to as the Great Pyramid, was built around 2550 BC for the pharaoh Khufu and is around 481 feet tall. Each side of the pyramid was 756 feet, and the area of each side is 5.5 acres. The angles at the base of the pyramid are nearly perfect 90-degree angles. All of this suggests the architects had a high understanding of mathematics. That being said, here are some things that make me question who or what those architects may have been.
You're telling me those architects used math? Knock me down with a feather.
I'm just suggesting, and some people are suggesting, that perhaps it was a little too advanced. based
That's so disrespectful.
The Great Pyramid was constructed of roughly 2.3 million stones, each weighing between 2.5 to 15 tons. In order to finish the Great Pyramid in 23 years, the workers would have to set a block every 2.5 minutes, every day of the week. The Egyptians did not have wheels, pulleys, or work animals, so how could they have lifted and transported these enormous stones with that kind of efficiency?
Can you imagine if you spent your entire life hauling around heavy stones and someone was like, well, they couldn't have done it. You know, it must have been space aliens. I seen them.
Dora.
2.5 minutes, one block, every fucking day of the week
They
for
could have had
23 years straight.
Could have had hustle days.
I'm just saying, it doesn't matter how many slaves they were if they didn't have the tools to do it.
Facts don't matter then.
No, I'm saying they didn't have the tools. That is facts. Some have suggested a ramp structure, but it would have had to be massive, and no evidence of this construction has been found.
If I'm building a giant, mighty, wondrous thing, I'm not going to be like, hey, can you do some chiselings of the ramp? Who We really gotta show off this ramp. The hell of a ramp. Are there blueprints for the pyramids?
I'm sure there is. They had all the mathematics and things broken down.
Are they written in any language?
Oh my god.
Additionally, the Great Pyramid is perfectly aligned with magnetic north. It is unknown how the Egyptians could possibly have known this, though some theorize it had to do with observing the cosmos. The perimeter of the Great Pyramid, when divided by twice the height, allegedly results in the number pi, up to its 15th digit. This may also demonstrate a suspicious knowledge of mathematics. The pyramids of Giza are also considerably well preserved in comparison to other pyramids around the world, despite the pyramids of Giza being centuries older. Some have claimed this is due to the fact that they were upkept over the past hundreds of years, though others believe it is a sign of unearthly preservation. Finally, the three pyramids align with the pattern of Orion's belt, a fact that some consider an impossible feat for the Egyptians to accomplish, unless of course they were building based on instructions.
I don't doubt that they were mathematically adept.
Well, the other two weren't math. The magnetic north and...
Again, magnetic north, they couldn't just observe the sun.
I don't know.
So it was aliens.
Yes, so
They showed up,
it was aliens.
gave them iPads, gave them a Zoom, built the pyramids, left, and that's it.
Sure, yeah. All those things in that order.
And they haven't
Except-
been back since. They haven't been back since.
Yeah, they were like, fuck you, man.
What we covered are only some of the ancient mysteries that inspire wonder and curiosity of our place in the universe. And as with most stories that deal with the existence of extraterrestrials, the answer is never definite and always left to personal interpretation. Were we visited and aided by aliens in ancient times? Do aliens even exist? The answer for now remains unsolved.
I think they lied. I have yet to see any compelling evidence.
I thought that was compelling unless, of course, they lied.
You think a lot of things are compelling.
I found that very compelling. Go fuck yourself. Have a nice day.
All right.
This is how I move forward with Purdue Global. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu.
I got a little spoiler for you. Everything in the building is going to look like this.
Oh my god.
I guess this is where we're fucking
Sleeping because we're idiots.
How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I got my stomach when I go to these places. I've seen this one on several shows before, and I've always thought there's no way in hell I'm gonna go there. So we are approaching Waverly.
So close. I'm surprised you're in college.
I'm keeping it together for now. There's a good chance tonight is the night you see me die on camera.
It kind of looks like a cat.
It kind of looks like hell. It's like Hogwarts. There's not one part of me that's like, oh man, this is what we're really in for now.
I mean, I don't think it's that. It's just a big metal thing. That's not a ghost. That's metal. Jesus Christ. I think we should let them know that we're during. Hey, ghouls! The boys are here.
This week on Busting Unsolved, we explore Waverly Hill Sanatorium as part of our ongoing investigation into the question, are ghosts real? As with most places we investigate, it doesn't have the most pleasant history, making it one of the most haunted places in the world. And as you can see, this is the place where nightmares are made. Look at that. It's very dark. It's a dark hallway. I just don't get any of this. Understand? I know. Okay. Well, let's break down the history for Mr. Robot over here, please. On July 26, 1910, Waverly Hills Sanatorium opened to treat patients of tuberculosis. On October 17, 1926, a bigger version of Waverly Hills that we are now sitting in tonight opened to accommodate the overflow of patients from the tuberculosis epidemic. The hospital was 5 stories tall and was built on a quiet space atop a hill where it was thought that patients would be at peace and receive lots of fresh air. Most importantly, it would keep the patients quarantined far away from crowded areas.
Fuck. I feel awful right now. It's like looking at Conjuring films. I got a little spoiler for you. Everything in the building is like this.
Yeah. Really, that is how happened.
But we don't have.
Let's provide a little background on tuberculosis. TB, or the White Plague, is a bacterial infection contracted by breathing in air containing Mycobacterium tuberculosis. The bacteria could eat away at the lungs and overall claimed roughly 2 billion lives in total, billed as, quote, the plague of all plagues, end quote.
Yeah, that was a rough time. Just everybody died. I feel like in every movie about a period before 1940 or something, there's a part in the movie where someone coughs and everybody looks at him.
And there's blood on the handkerchief.
Blood on the handkerchief.
Tucks in his jacket real quick.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Around the turn of the 20th century, tuberculosis ran rampant in the warm, wet weather of Kentucky, and the demand for treatment necessitated a facility like Waverly Hills Sanatorium. It could accommodate up to 500 patients. Unfortunately, not all the treatment was effective. According to owner Tina Mattingly, Waverly also used electroshock therapy to treat patients whose tuberculosis spread to the brain.
The electroshock therapy is on the first floor, what we call the North Wing. And electroshock is where they're performed on the patients that got tuberculosis of the brain. Probably didn't help them, sure, but they didn't know what else to do.
It was a little theater. Yeah, it's set up because sometimes they put stuff on for Halloween. But this is the room. You feel strange?
No.
Sit down on this couch.
It's filthy.
Yeah, well, we're gonna be sleeping on the ground later, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
I think the ground was cleaner than this couch.
It's pretty dusty. Got my butt cheeks now.
Yeah, that's a perfect butt print. You got the two pockets.
Oh, look at that, the 2 pockets and everything.
And someone will come here in a week and they'll be like, they took a good post butt. A lot of people are probably very unhappy here. It seems like a room where they were doing a lot of medical things that maybe you didn't enjoy. If you're here, we're going to be real quiet right now. Maybe make some noise. Here we go. Shockingly, I'm not really hearing anything. This is the biggest upset. I did not see this coming.
Interestingly enough, due to the fact that tuberculosis is highly contagious, Waverly Hills was largely self-sufficient. They grew their own food, raised animals, had a post office, etc. Basically, once you went to Waverly Hills, whether you were a patient, nurse, or doctor, you were no longer part of the outside world. Eventually, a vaccine was made readily available for tuberculosis, and Waverly Hills closed its doors in 1961. It's been debated how many died within its walls before doing so. Current co-owner Tina Mattingly has claimed the number is approximately in the tens of thousands, but nobody can know for sure. Regardless, death was so common that the hospital actually contains a horrifying area nicknamed the body chute, a tunnel used to dispose of dead bodies out of eyesight from the other patients. The tunnel is roughly 500 feet long and leads down the hill.
If I were staying here, I would want to be watching them shovel bodies through the hall all day. I don't know what's being done. They shoot them. Is that the body?
I think this is the body chute.
Well, this is awful. No, this is the nightmare.
Oh no, 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 no. No. You have gotta be fucking Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
This is like Satan's cement butthole.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. How far does this go? Are we going to hell?
Let's find out.
If there's anybody down here that may be in this tunnel,
This is a witch hole.
let us know. Make your presence known. Preferably now and not when we get to the bottom of this tunnel. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. It looks like there's a soccer ball at the bottom.
Oh, that's good.
Oh my god, are you serious?
What is that? The wind?
I don't know.
It just went.
I don't know what the fuck that was. There was some weird whoop noise.
What if I go up there and you stay down here and we turn our lights on and see if we hear anything?
What if you go fuck yourself? How about that? How long am I staying down here? A minute? Yeah. Fuck. Alright.
Lights off in 3, 2, 1. Oh God. Oh no. I hate this. This is so beautiful. Shut up. Did you hear that? Is it a minute yet? Please tell me it's been a minute. Hello? Okay. Get me the fuck out of here. I'm leaving. Goodbye, ghost at the bottom. I'm gonna imagine that place is the closest thing to hell.
Not really, because there's no malice there. It's just dead people. It's people who died of a disease, and they...
You gotta imagine when their like soul is out and they're watching it get dragged like a World War II victim down this creepy, dingy tunnel is not the thing that you would like to see.
What do you want them to do? Like carry them out on a golden velvet couch?
I'm just saying it's an uncomfortable place.
How dare they dispose of my body? They should leave it in the hallway to rot.
The spirits of the countless who died here are said to now haunt this facility, making Waverly Hill Sanatorium potentially one of the most haunted places in the world. That being said, let's get into some of the reports of paranormal activity. Visitors often claim they hear the sound of children's laughter. Slamming doors are said to be a common occurrence. Some insist faces have appeared in windows to rooms that are unoccupied and in photos where nobody was standing. Waverly Hills is also famous for its reports of shadow people, which are shadowy figures that people claim to see all over the hospital.
If you look down this hallway long enough, your eyes are going to look at that darkness, and eventually you start to see movement in darkness. When there's nothing there, your eyes sort of fill the void.
Yeah, I got the chills even just thinking about it.
So you ever heard that old thing about when you look at your face in the mirror in low light and eventually sort of looks demonic? And look it up. It's a thing on the internet.
Who are you pointing to?
All the Shaniacs out there.
Shaniacs! I hate you. Aside from general reports, there are specific areas of this former hospital that we should discuss and investigate in detail. For obvious reasons, the morgue on the first floor is reportedly an area of heightened activity. Supposedly, this is one of the more active rooms in this whole joint. You feel any strange feelings right now?
I'm cold.
Yeah, it's a morgue. I'd feel stranger if there were actual dead bodies in here
Well, I mean,
right
these
now.
are accurate autopsy tables from the time these are real.
Yeah, I see that.
Jesus Christ. Moving to the third floor, a homeless man and his dog supposedly fell down the elevator shaft when the building was vacant. And co-owner Tina Mattingly, as well as many others, claim to have seen the ghost of both the man and the dog.
One night after I had a tour going on, and I was walking down the hallway, and I saw a very tall man, tall, thin, long hair, turban snake light on up like this, and flicked it on, and he just wasn't there. Well, at that point, I'm a little nervous, and I start to walk down the hall, and I'm kind of looking around to see if they'd be backed into a room or something. And then I see a dog laying in the floor. It was a white dog. It looked like a small white German Shepherd. And I started, calling to the dog, try to get it up and get it moving, and it didn't. And then all of a sudden, I didn't see it disappear. I didn't see it get up and walk away. It just wasn't there.
It's also speculated that the man did not accidentally fall down the shaft, but that he was pushed. But I mean, at least he went out with his, best friend, I suppose.
They pushed the dog too?
Oh, Jesus Christ, I didn't even think about that. Maybe he was like holding the dog on the... we're not going to think of the logistics of
Even
this.
if I'm holding a dog and someone pushes me, I'm gonna let go of the leash, or I'm not gonna be like, yeah, you're coming with me, coward, taking your dog to die with you.
What are you doing? This is the worst thing you could possibly do.
Put your hand in there first.
It's pretty... I don't want him to grab my hand. What if he grabs my hand and takes a zoom?
Well, then we have proof of a ghost.
No, it's just going to be you saying you drugged it. Oh, you drugged it.
Put your hand all the way in there. There you go.
I don't like that.
Do it.
Ryan. What are you, what? You didn't drop it.
I know. Okay, to the man in the elevator, if you were pushed down this elevator, make a noise. If you fell down this elevator, make a noise. I'm just gonna ask you, maybe you'll say it, maybe I'll hear it later. What?
What the fuck is wrong with you? What?
It was this. Okay, it felt like someone doing this.
You've got a thing, man.
I swear. Also, this is why I didn't want to do it, because I knew you weren't gonna believe me. This is bullshit.
It's also very breezy here, so yeah, if you felt
Well,
a
why
breeze, it's highly likely that it was
If that was you,
a breeze.
please don't do that again.
We'd like some confirmation that it was you. Please do it again.
No, don't listen to him. Oh God, I hated that. Let's get the fuck away from this elevator shaft. There are reports of an apparition draped in a white doctor's coat being seen. One ghost hunter claims he saw the man disappear into a treatment room on the 4th floor. Also on this floor is a room that used to be the nurse's waiting room, a place where owner Tina Mattingly came across evidence of a full-bodied apparition.
We were on the 4th floor. Me and another girl that comes here every year. She's the one that's always taking all the pictures and stuff. She has a really nice camera. And she was snapping pictures, and all of a sudden I hear her just going crazy, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like, turn around like, what? She goes, you won't believe what I got.
She said she saw her standing right here. God, that'd be scary.
It's kind of grainy because I took a picture of her camera, and she never could send me the original.
It does look like a full-bodied apparition.
That doesn't give you the chills.
Well, I mean,
On the 3rd floor, there are reports of a little boy named Timmy who likes to play with a blue rubber ball. All right, Timmy. My name's Ryan. This is my pal Shane.
hi, Tim.
I hear you like balls. No, wait.
Will we do a retake on that one? That had to be intentional.
I swear to God, I'm not doing this on purpose.
This is a bit.
No, it's not a fucking bit. I'm sorry. I'm gonna bounce my ball. See, it's a bouncy ball. You like that? I like it. Wanna play?
You want to play? Why you sound threatening right now? You want to play? Let's fucking play.
Timmy, I'm very scared, but if you could throw this ball back, I won't be as scared.
Oh my God, that's the biggest lie I've ever heard.
All right, Timmy, I'm throwing the ball down. You ready? All right.
She had bounced a few extra times, so did you hear that?
Do you think it bounced? I thought it bounced a couple extra times, but I thought it was just my mind playing tricks on me.
It sounded like it stopped and then it bounced a little more. I don't know if that means ghost, but
Let's walk down and find the ball.
that's the most serious I've ever seen. Let's walk down there and find the ball.
All right, Timmy, we're coming to get the ball. I don't know where it went.
Oh my God, I know. Do you want the flashlight right now? Oh, there it is.
No way.
Oh
No.
Ryan, the ball bounced.
No, the ball stopped here. How the fuck is that possible?
The ball stopped right here.
How is that possible? Oh no.
They know. Ryan, they know.
Shut up, dude. You know this is fucking weird. Shut up.
Ball came right into this hallway.
I don't know what the odds are, Timmy, that my ball would land right next to my name down there that I didn't know existed. But roll the ball one more time, Timmy. We're coming over, Timmy. Where did this thing go?
I think it's one of the...
Oh, it's right there in the middle.
Oh, perfect. Now that's a good throw, Ryan.
I mean, that's exactly how I threw it last time.
No, it wasn't exactly.
Yes, it was.
No.
It's like directly in the middle of the floor.
So you think because it's in the middle now, it was moved before?
Yeah, that's exactly what I think.
I don't
You don't
know.
think it's odd that it stopped in the middle and then before it went into the room by my name?
But it also stopped at the I love pot graffiti, so maybe this ghost just lives to blaze it.
infection spread to the brain, rendering them insane. Were sent to the 5th floor. So let's make the journey upward. Alright, this is the floor I'm really not stoked to go on. One room in particular on this floor that is arguably the most active and definitely the most controversial is room 502. The famous 502. And I guess this is where we're fucking sleeping because we're idiots. And this is what we like to do. Room 502 has a reputation due to the 2 suicides that supposedly occurred there. One story has it that in 1932, a nurse jumped to her death from the 5th floor patio near room 502, though others believe she was actually pushed. Right around here is probably where she jumped off. The second nurse to die here.
That's a hell of a fall.
That'll do it.
I mean, if she was 5 feet or taller, a good gust could just knock her over. Because I was looking over there.
The other suicide reportedly occurred 4 years earlier in 1928 when nurse Mary Hillenberg hung herself just outside room 502. Another theory is that Mary got pregnant by one of the doctors, and when he tried to perform an abortion, she died and the suicide was staged. So according to Tina, here's 502, they found the nurse hanging right around here. So if we were to sleep in this area,
Oh, that's right. That's right where it happened.
we would be sleeping right where it happened.
I can tell you some stories about the 5th floor.
Oh, sure, let's hear
I've
that.
had guys, people for security reasons, stay up on the 5th floor in tents. And they had things hit their tents all night long. You hear kids giggling and stuff.
Oh, that's fun. Cool. That's where we're going to be sleeping.
You have fun with that. I've been here almost 16 years and I've never done it.
Well, that's good that we're going to, really tee
Yeah,
that
you're
off.
going to do something that I've never done.
Awesome.
Go big or go home. Well, this place, I realized, is different for a number of reasons. One, if we were at the Sally house, it's like, oh, run out the front door. Whereas here,
You're like, trapped.
yeah, we're on the roof, more or less.
Oh my god, did you hear that?
No. What are you talking?
Are you serious? You didn't hear that?
I didn't hear anything.
I heard a whisper.
No, you didn't hear a whisper.
I swear to god I heard a whisper.
There's a lot of wind moving around right now. What did the whisper say?
I don't know.
Sure it wasn't just a car in the distance.
No, it sounded like someone saying something. Oh man, am I just freaking myself out again? You swear you didn't hear it? It made my hair stand up.
Let's go to sleep.
No, I don't want to.
Hello. Oh, you can't even see me. It's so dark in here because I'm going to sleep.
Shane's next to me. He's asleep. I mean, just woke him up, but I don't really care. Literally, like 6 feet away from me, a lady hung herself.
Ryan, why are you doing this to yourself?
I asked myself that a lot too. I don't understand why I do these things. Shane, I thought you were asleep.
I don't remember. I think I was asleep when you called Helen in the first place because I woke up and I heard a voice and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
You've been asleep for 45 minutes.
Oh, nice.
Oh, did Shane think I was a ghost?
Yeah.
Shane also thinks it was a coincidence that the ball landed on Ryan. What do you think?
I think Timmy wants to be
Well, that was a sleepless night. Let's go check in on Mr. Shane.
This location is cleared.
Well,
Time to go.
it's been real. You still have an opportunity here. Golden moment to seize glory. You hear that, Ghost? That's Ryan Bergara 1, Waverly Hills Sanatorium 0. How does that feel?
You fucking whips.
Is Waverly Hills Sanatorium haunted? Remains. Actually, do you think this place is haunted? No. I think it is. Due to the countless deaths that occurred within its walls, it's no surprise to me that many report this once busy hospital is haunted. There's the demon hole. Goodbye, body shoot. And although nothing we experienced tonight changes that reputation in my mind, whether or not Waverly Hills Sanatorium is definitively haunted will remain unsolved.
I'm gonna take everything said by a ghost hunter with a grain of salt.
Well, technically now you're a ghost hunter, so think about that.
Oh shit.
So I don't even know if I can trust you.
I'm a ghost hunter, but
Well, oh my god, your brain just exploded?
I'm a ghost hunter. I don't want to be a ghost hunter. This is all bullshit. Oh no. Do I have to put that on my business card now?
Yeah, shave a day, ghost hunter.
Son of a bitch.
And Robo-Squatch.
And Robo-Squatch.
The goal of WV Medicine, Uniontown Primary Care, is to provide good care for all of our patients. The most rewarding part of my job is building relationships with my patients and getting to see them through the good life events and not only the bad. I would encourage patients to prioritize their health by coming to regular checkup visits.
Be proactive about your health care. Get those wellness visits done. Make sure you're having adequate follow-up on your chronic conditions and getting those managed to keep you healthy.
Ashley's Stars and Stripes mattress sale is going on now. Save up to $1,000 on select mattresses. Plus, you can snooze now and pay later with 0% interest until 2030 when you buy in-store. Shop in-store and online today. Only at Ashley.
This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we discuss the enduring mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. What is it? Is it real? Only one way to find out. Any thoughts going in before?
I think I love airplanes. I bet there's a lot of airplanes in this one.
Oh, there's a whole lot of airplanes. You're a
yeah.
fan of airplanes. I got news for you. This is going to be a great day.
Sign me up.
The Bermuda Triangle is an area of the Atlantic Ocean roughly bounded by Miami, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda. Though its actual range is debated, some estimate it covers between 500,000 to 1 million square miles.
I guess I thought it was further north.
Are you about to beautiful mind this, or? I don't know what
Get some graphics over there.
There's a glaze that's come over your eyes. I don't know what. The term Bermuda Triangle actually didn't come into use until 1964, when it was coined by Vincent Gaddis for a cover story for Argosy magazine. It was used to describe an area where there seemed to be an uncommon amount of disappearances of ships and planes. According to Time magazine, between 1946 and 1991 alone, there were over 100 disappearances of ships and planes in the Bermuda Triangle.
Quick thought. Is it annoying that I hold this pen?
Oh yeah,
like
it's
this?
really annoying.
Well, it's here now, forever. You got your paper. I'm sitting over here just twiddling my thumbs. It's nice to have a little.
I think your douche meter's usually at a half mast. Right now, it's about.
Damn it with me.
That being said, let's discuss some of the more mysterious incidents in the Bermuda Triangle. Allegedly, the first recorded account was made by none other than Christopher Columbus during his famous journey to discover America.
Oh, he discovered it all right. Just to be fair, fuck Christopher Columbus.
While in the Bermuda Triangle, Columbus, along with crew, noted a variety of odd occurrences. The ship's compass began malfunctioning. There were mysterious lights over the water. The
Borden, if you're here right now. Show me. Should we turn the light off? Okay. Alright. Go turn the light off. 3, 2, 1.
Stay home. I'll tell you. I'm supposed to go.
Was that you? No. Where did you hear it? Where's it coming from? Somewhere in this room. Is it this room or that room? I think it was in here. Interesting.
Shortly after, Lizzie asked Maggie to go find the doctor across the street. At this time, the whereabouts of Mrs. Borden were unknown. Maggie returned to the house with a neighbor and claimed that Lizzie said this about Abby Borden. Quote, "Oh, Maggie, I am almost sure I heard her come in. Go upstairs and see if she is there." End quote. Maggie and the neighbor walked upstairs to discover to their horror the body of Abby Borden laying face down on the floor of the guest bedroom. It was thought that Mrs. Borden may have been present for the murder of Mr. Borden and fled to the guest bedroom where she was also murdered.
That's strange because if your pa is laying there, his head turns into blood oatmeal, and you hear Mom come in, you're probably not just like, oh, I wonder what she's up to today. You're probably like, hey, Mom, you should probably come here. Not just, oh, I wonder if she's going to go take a little nap. Right?
Yeah, I got a life-changing thing to tell you here.
Yeah. Got some heavy news. Oh, yeah, I think she ducked in. I should probably give her a little holler. Let her know.
Also, the fact that she goes, look upstairs. I think I may have heard her go up that way, and that's where they find the body. Yeah. So you can start to see where things start to paddle up against you. So this is where Abby Borden was actually found. They walked up the stairs, much like we just did, and from that little landing, they saw her feet right there. And they actually thought she may have just fainted or something like that because she saw her husband dead downstairs. But when they looked at her, I mean, obviously you can see the pictures right there. That's how they found her. Oh my goodness! And look at her head. Jesus Christ. That is fucking awful.
Abby, if you're here right now,
or if anybody's here right now, make a noise. What the fuck was that? That's just probably furniture creaking. We're gonna leave. I'm gonna ask one final question. Showtime. Okay, I'll ask the question and you can yell showtime. How about that? Who killed you? Showtime! Both of the Bordens were struck in the head multiple times, suggesting a crime of passion. And with that, let's get into the suspects, starting with the top suspect, Lizzie Borden. To this day, many believe that Lizzie is guilty. Let's examine why, starting with her potential motive. At the time of his death, Andrew Borden was very wealthy. His net worth at the time would be around $10 million in today's standards. However, despite this wealth, Andrew was reportedly a bit of a penny pincher. In trial, Maggie testified that the Borden family lived frugally and ate a mutton-based diet. Lizzie reportedly smiled as this was being described.
maybe she's thinking back on the good old mutton days.
Well, maybe she's like, no mutton for me anymore.
No mutton for me, father. Did they describe the smile, though? Or was it sort of like...
No, they didn't describe it.
So was it like...
Was it smug, you mean? Or was it like...
Yeah, like, because there's the nostalgia, like...
Those are the good days.
Good old days.
But then there's like the slight smug. But the smug, like, took care of that. Not for me anymore. And so this is the master bedroom. This is where Mr. and Mrs. Borden slept.
Reminds me of Downton Abbey, but it's very proper. I feel like a little fancy little lord in this movie.
Well, one of the things that's supposed to piss Mr. Borden off is he was very frugal. So that's why you see money right here by his picture. People leave it there, and the walls report being scratched if you take his money. Well, of course, yeah. He's gonna take it, but they're not gonna leave a little. He was a penny at least.
Oh, leave him a penny.
He was a penny pincher.
I'm not doing this because I want to steal. I'm doing this because I want to give the ghosts significant reason to haunt me. Okay. You know? I want them to be upset with me.
I think they're already inherently upset with you. If I stole from you, did you hear me? I think they can sense energy. Mr. Borden, who killed you?
Was it you?
5 years before the murders, Lizzie had a falling out with her stepmother, Abby, that resulted in Lizzie going from calling Abby mother to Mrs. Borden. The dispute was over Mr. Borden buying a house for Abby's half-sister, rather than Lizzie and her sister Emma. And sure enough, after Mr. and Mrs. Borden's murders, 32-year-old Lizzie and her 41-year-old sister Emma inherited the estate and later bought a house on the hill in a wealthy neighborhood in Fall River.
Cool. That's pretty cool. They didn't waste time going to work with that money.
What would you?
I think I'd give a little bit of a grace period.
If people were already like, we think you murdered them, I'd be like,
So you're
wow,
telling me
I
right
guess I'll
now,
spend their money.
if your parents got killed.
Yeah. No. I can share that they are saints.
Okay, great. But you're saying your first move is, let's head on over to Chase Bank and make a deposit or make a withdrawal.
I mean, if they're not going to spend it.
Holy shit. When asked if her father had previously mentioned a will to her, Lizzie said, quote, he did not, end quote. Moving on from motive, during her inquest testimony, Lizzie's answers were sometimes wildly inconsistent. Lizzie also reportedly burned a dress of hers after the murders, claiming there was paint on it. However, this was not the dress she was seen wearing the day of the murders. That dress was actually handed over to the police. The day of the murders, the housemaid Maggie saw Lizzie wearing an unstained blue dress. Lizzie could perhaps have committed the murder and then changed while Maggie was reportedly sleeping. But the time frame for that would have been extremely slim, and dresses in that time period were a bit of a process to take on and off, so this seems unlikely.
She could have got this. That's something.
Apparently it was pretty hard. I'd like to see you put on a dress from that time period. That came out weird. I could have worded that better. I would not like to see you in a dress. I would like you to You know what? You get what I'm saying. Okay. Another damning detail came from a pharmacist who testified at Lizzie's trial that she had tried to buy a poison called prussic acid the day before her father and stepmother were killed. However, this testimony was dismissed. Other than a possible motive and circumstantial pieces of evidence, there was no physical evidence that implicated Lizzie in the murders. The hatchet that was found in the basement was clean. At the end of the trial, Lizzie was found not guilty. However, many people still believed Lizzie was guilty. In fact, there was even a creepy schoolyard rhyme that goes, quote, Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 rags. And when she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41, end quote. Alright, so we're about to go into Lizzie's room. Big bad Lizzie Borden. I didn't feel so weird in the other rooms, but I do feel very uncomfortable here.
Oh, yeah?
There's her right there.
Why?
Maybe let's both save the thing, and maybe that'll get her out. Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. Strangely, as soon as we finish reciting the Lizzie Borden rhyme, our audio recorder starts to pick up bizarre interference. It does this again when we whisper it. What if we whisper it? Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, gave her father 41. Lizzie! I'm getting out of here. We've disrespected this room too much. It's gonna kill us. We're sleeping here. We can't even run away. The second suspect is John Vinicum Morse, a theory recently made popular by a Massachusetts math teacher named Richard Little, who wrote a book on the case that listed John Morse as the possible killer. John Morse was the brother of Mr. Borden's first wife and Lizzie's uncle. Interestingly, according to Lizzie in the case timeline, Morse was not seen from 9 a.m. until noon after the murders had occurred.
According to Little, John Morse's alibi to the police was that he was visiting a sick relative down the road during the time of the murders, along with the town doctor. However, the same town doctor was also looking over the bodies of Mr. and Mrs. Borden, a bizarre contradiction in his story. Furthermore, Mrs. Borden was found dead in the guest bedroom that Morse had reportedly slept in the night before. That's Morse right there.
Look at his stare.
So let's talk to him now.
Oh, what's his name? Morris?
John Morris.
John Morris, come on, buddy. Time's ticking. Show up, murder us. Be the first ghost to murder someone in history. We'll get it on film. You'll be famous.
Alright, you got 1 minute, John. Say something. You don't have to get violent.
No.
10,
No.
9, 8. I'm counting in my head.
Oh,
I was giving him the chance to talk.
The sun
Now I gotta start
god.
over. Also, according to Lizzie's inquest
Mr.
testimony,
Home.
Morse may have known about her father's will. Here's a transcript of that interaction. Question: did you know of your father making a will? Answer: no, sir, except I heard somebody say once that there was one several years ago. That is all I ever heard. Question: who did you hear say so? Answer: I think it was Mr. Morse. Question: what Morse? Answer: Uncle John being Morse. Little also cites a failing livestock business between Morse and Mr. Borden as a possible motive. Little additionally believed that Morse may have used a meat cleaver to kill the Bordens, as John Morse was also a butcher for his profession. So, there are some things. He had a failing business with Mr. Borden. He knew about a will. They don't really know where he was at a certain amount of time, and he was a butcher. Those are 4 pieces of circumstantial evidence that make him just as much of a suspect in my mind.
yeah, he seems toe and toe there with
Maybe not toe and toe.
neck and neck.
Probably a better way to say that, given the context of the story. Yeah.
Both of them seem dubious as hell. That's all.
Okay, I can go with that. The third suspect is the family maid, Maggie. Maggie had gone upstairs to sleep in her bedroom, a floor above the guest room where Mrs. Borden was murdered. Maggie, in her own testimony, claimed she may not have been fully asleep at the time of the murders, yet somehow she did not hear the brutal murder only 1 floor below. In fact, the room that we're talking in is the room that actually belonged to Maggie. What are you doing?
I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. I feel like I would hear it downstairs. You want me to go down there and make a thud noise?
Yeah, why not? He said it's pretty light, but I can hear it. And if I'm trying to fall asleep, I feel like I hear everything. Piggybacking on the previous theory, some feel that it is too coincidental that a person could sneak into the house in broad daylight, with 2 people inside or around the house at the time. Which brings us to our 4th and final suspect, or rather, suspects, with the unsubstantiated theory that Lizzie and Maggie the maid conspired to kill the Bordens together. This theory has been the subject of many fan fiction, where Lizzie and Maggie were romantically involved. Some versions have Lizzie's stepmother discovering the romance, to which they kill her and then kill her father to cover it up. Fans of this theory point to the fact that Lizzie later in her life reportedly had a crush on an actress, a point that some feel caused her sister Emma to move out of the home they shared. Other than that, this theory has no evidence backing it. I can see that.
It would answer a lot of questions too. About the dress, trying to get that dress on.
Oh yeah, because really her only way out of that is saying, I saw her with the dress, it was clean.
Yeah.
And then Lizzie saying nothing about her. So like they're both helping each other with the alibis. It makes sense to me. But, you know me. I'm a fan of conspiracy theories. But this one
I was gonna say, this doesn't seem that crazy.
No, right? Okay, and I feel like I'm on edge here.
Because there are certain elements of each of their stories that don't seem to add up. Now they're basing.
Am I on base here?
Yeah, you're on base. Sorry. I mean, I'm not saying ghosts are real. I'm saying.
How you just said that?
No, I did not say that.
Now that we've gone over the history and explored the house, let's move on to the final phase of the investigation: sleeping in the house.
Can you imagine if you got sleep paralysis in this room?
Oh my God! Why would you fucking say that right before we're about to sleep?
I'm like you lifted your head up and you saw a face in the window.
Why would you say that? You know one of my great fears is a face
shows up in the mirror.
That sounds like literally a nightmare. You know one of my big fears is a face staring at me through a window.
Yeah.
Last look at the boarding house. Perhaps one day we will know who committed the murders, but many believe that this case will forever be a victim to time and will always remain unsolved. Easily boarded, took the max, gave her mother thorny wax, and when she saw... It's when she had saw. Well, we gotta start over again. You're smiling. Okay.
The Drag Keys Casino app is the place for jackpots and across all my favorite games, not just slots. With all these ways to win big, I feel like one of the...
This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we discussed the incendiary and baffling death of Mary Reeser, who media later labeled as the Cinder Woman.
Incendiary.
Incendiary.
You're going on with a $5 word like that?
It's not a $5 word. Yeah. Stick around for the last theory because it's something we've never discussed before on this show. So, let's get into it.
Spoiler alert, it's probably aliens.
On July 2nd, 1951, in Pittsburgh, Florida, Mary Hardy Reeser was visited by her son in the evening at her apartment. Mary told her son that she had taken 2 Seconal tablets, a drug commonly used to calm patients before surgery, and was possibly planning on taking 2 more before bed.
Bad idea. Did she have a prescription for them?
No, she did not. However, her son was actually a doctor.
I'm considering him a suspect.
Why
her
would
son's
you?
feeding her sedatives.
He didn't feed her sedatives.
Go on, mother.
Jesus Christ. You just made this go so much more dark than it needed.
Well, I just don't trust this boy.
Yeah, have some pills, smoke a cigarette. Good night.
He visited her. She told him these things. If it was truly alarming, he probably would have said, hey, maybe don't do that. Or he's just a terrible doctor. Later that night, Mary would fall asleep sitting in her upholstered chair for the last time, as Mary would become the victim of an apparent house fire. The next morning, Mary's landlady would report smelling smoke at 5 a.m., but it wasn't until 8 a.m. when the landlady was on her way to deliver a telegram to Mary that she noticed the smell of smoke again. She discovered soot in the hallway that led to Mary Reeser's apartment. When she went to touch the door handle, it was too hot for her to grab, so the landlady enlisted the help of nearby house painters who made their way into the apartment.
This is a very irresponsible landlady. If your tenants' apartments smell like smoke,
I mean, okay, maybe check in on them. This is getting a little morbid, but who's to say that a burning body doesn't smell like barbecue?
Yeah, it probably does.
So, beats me. Maybe they thought, oh man, someone's making bacon, maybe I'll do the same. I'm just saying, I don't think it's weird that she didn't immediately jump into action at 5 a.m.
Well, okay.
What they discovered would simultaneously horrify and confound the Tampa Bay area. Inside the apartment, they found the cremated remains of Mary Reeser. Mary's skull had reportedly shrunk to the size of a cup.
That doesn't make any sense. How does that make... No, of course it doesn't make sense. It's weird.
Has any skull shrunk at any other point in history?
Oh man, see, now you're asking the right questions. Now you're acting like a detective and not like a jackass.
Well, at least one of us is doing it.
Parts of Reeser's spine also remained, but perhaps the most gruesome was Reeser's left foot, still in its black satin slipper, the skin unburned. The rest of Mary's remains had been completely cremated.
Her legs were the size of little tiny teaspoons.
You don't think it's weird that all of her was gone except for her skull, parts of the spine, and a fucking foot that is still completely intact like nothing happened?
Maybe she was like, I always sit up with one of my feet up on the...
Oh, so you're saying that she was like sleeping back in like a comfy state, like a talk show kind of state?
Talk show, like George Clooney on The Tonight Show. I bet if George Clooney was on The Tonight Show and you set him on fire, one of his feet would burn, and the other one would probably still be planted there on the floor in a very nice shoe. Clooney's flammable.
Clooney is probably flammable, you're probably right.
However, what makes this case bizarre is the condition of Mary's surroundings. According to cremation experts, for Mary's body to be cremated, the body would have to burn at 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 to 4 hours. Yet somehow,
Strike
other than the chair that Mary sat in,
and
the
fight,
surrounding
little
area,
fight.
as well as the apartment in general, seemed relatively unaffected by a fire that was at least 3,000 degrees. In the corner where the fire occurred, the nearby walls were not damaged, showing no signs of scorching or cracked paint. The upper walls and ceiling were blackened from soot and smoke, but the lower half of the apartment was not. Light switches were melted, but outlets below were intact and functioning. Candles on a nearby windowsill had melted, but their wicks stood upright. A stack of newspapers in close proximity were undamaged. Neighbors to Mary's apartment were also somehow unaware of this fire. Firemen who came on the scene found the heat so intense that they, quote, couldn't stand it, end quote, but also found no signs of smoldering.
So a fire that was too hot for firemen did not damage our apartment.
Too much fire here. What do I look like, a fireman?
Detective Chief Cass Burgess described the case as perplexing. Dr. Wilton M. Krogman, professor of physical anthropology at the University of Pennsylvania, was, quote, amazed and baffled, as he could not, quote, conceive of such a complete cremation without more burning of the apartment itself. Dr. Krogman also stated that in his 30-plus fire investigations, he had never seen a skull shrink like Mary's had. The skulls normally become swollen or explode. Investigators sent samples of the chair, rug, debris, and smoke to an FBI laboratory for chemical analysis. However, the investigation did not find traces of combustibles. What they did find was melted fat in the rug.
Foot and a foot. That's all they got. Soot, foot, and a cup skull.
That's a bizarre version of a Dr. Seuss figure.
All this leads us to perhaps the most mysterious detail of the case, the cause of the fire. A local mattress company pointed out the regular chair stuffing would not cause such a fire. The material would merely smolder for a prolonged period. Lightning or electrical failure was also ruled out on the scene. However, the night before, Mary was reportedly seen smoking a cigarette in that chair. With that in mind, the FBI and police believe that the fire most likely started because Mary fell asleep while smoking a cigarette, which possibly led to her lighting her nightgown on fire. This would enact something known as the wick effect, where clothes act as a wick, setting fire to the body. The FBI felt that, quote, once the body became ignited, almost complete destruction occurred from its own fatty tissues, end quote. At the time, Mary weighed about 170 pounds.
Well, if there's no cigarette found, that's fine, because
it'd be incinerated.
Yeah, it would be soot.
But, I mean, you would think they would fall on the floor, maybe. The foot didn't catch on fire.
The foot did not catch on fire. One of them, anyway. That other one?
Yeah, that's
up like Christmas.
At a glance, that scenario seems plausible, but is certainly not definitive. Here are some alternate theories as to how the fire started. The first theory is ridiculous. I'm just gonna say that right now. It's ridiculous.
Never heard you just
I know,
flat out.
for me to say it's ridiculous is the first. Detective Burgess received a letter addressed to the chief of detectives that said, quote, a ball of fire came through the open window and hit her. I seen it happen, end quote.
I don't trust anyone who says, I seen it happen. That sounds like a country bumpkin if I've ever heard one. I seen it.
I seen it happen.
I seen it with my own 2 eyes.
There's something we can agree on. I don't think this is a credible source. The second theory is that the fire was started purposefully. Some suggest that the fire could have been caused by thermite bombs, kerosene, magnesium and phosphorus, and napalm. But according to the coroner of the case, all of those would leave a distinct odor, none of which were detected at the scene. The third and final theory is that Mary was a victim of spontaneous human combustion. Let's dive into the history of spontaneous human combustion. Allegedly, there have been roughly 200 recorded cases of spontaneous combustion.
200?
Roughly 200.
Okay, all right. So that's just maybe a few. Okay.
These are alleged cases or reported cases.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that's a lot of cases.
Well, okay, keep going.
Okay. The earliest case of spontaneous human combustion dates back to 1470 in Milan, Italy, when Polonus Forstius died by bursting into flames after a night of drinking. His gruesome death was recorded in 1641 by Thomas Bartholin, a Danish mathematician and doctor.
Can you imagine just being out, having a good night with your pals drinking? And you know, toward the end of the night, when you're like, yeah, what a fun night this has been. Can you imagine just exploding? Just catching on fire? All your pals would be like, huh?
Immediate buzzkill. I would say that.
Not a good night.
No, I think we could both agree on
For
that.
him or his friends.
In 1745, the Countess Cornelia Mandy of Cesena, Italy, was found burnt to a pile of ashes with only her legs intact. Skipping forward to modern times, in 1982, the family of Jane Safin claimed they saw her burst into flames in her London home. In 2010, a coroner claimed spontaneous human combustion to be the cause of death of 76-year-old Irishman Michael Flaherty, who was found in his home with none of his surroundings badly tarnished. And of course, Mary Reeser, who many believe is a victim of spontaneous human combustion.
Is it very European to burst into flames?
I don't think incendiary behavior is exclusive to Europe because she happened in Florida.
I know, I'm just saying. Europe,
Put that pen down, you just look like a jackass.
A lot of people explode in Europe.
Stop it. Put it down.
Something you want to look into. This runs deep.
Now let's get into the science of spontaneous human combustion. The human combustion process involves internal fluids turning into gas, and the melted fat of the body further burning organs and bones. If you recall, fat was found in the rug at the scene of Mary Reeser's death. Some consider the possibility of spontaneous human combustion to be questionable, since the body is made up to 70% of water. Though, there are components of the body that are flammable, such as body fat and methane gas. Unproven theories as to why the body would ignite so easily include static electricity, bacteria, stress, obesity, and alcohol consumption. Some also believe that human cells may reach a heightened state of vulnerability to ignite. In 2012, in an issue of New Scientist magazine, biologist Brian J. Ford theorizes that a large concentration of acetate in the body may contribute to spontaneous combustion. Acetone buildup could result from alcohol intake, variations in diet, and diabetes. Cases of spontaneous combustion typically contain these three characteristics. Surroundings of the site of the fire are drastically damaged. There is no visible source of the fire. And finally, parts of the body are left intact and adjacent to the ashes. All of these were present in Mary Reeser's case.
When I think spontaneous combustion, I think like, bam, like a pop balloon, just little shards of person just exploding.
No, I think what you should be thinking is someone just immediately lighting on fire like that asshole in Fantastic Four.
Now, what do you have against him?
Well, I hate that movie. So
it's not a good movie. Spontaneous doesn't mean instantaneous.
When does something spontaneously happen slowly?
Spontaneous tornadoes came out twirling over the mountain.
This thought you're having right now, it's not very spontaneous.
No, it's certainly not.
Getting a degree is important to me because I feel like I'm setting myself up for future success. The more I can learn and grow as a person and an athlete, the better and more well-rounded I'll be in whatever field I go into next. Start your comeback today at PurdueGlobal.edu.
Let's get a divorce.
Why?
I work for this family every day, and you're just doing household chores, not adding any value to this home.
I manage this house every day. Prepare breakfast and dinner for you. What's taking so long?
Twirling over the mountain.
This thought you're having right now is not very spontaneous.
No, it's certainly not.
Another perplexing detail is why Mary, along with other suspected victims of spontaneous human combustion, do not try and escape their death or in any way indicate that they are on freaking fire. The lack of evidence of fighting for one's life is potentially damning in regards to the cigarette theory.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if my clothes are on fire, I'll do a little dance to try and get them out. Stop, drop, and roll, what have you.
I think the only thing I can think of is by the time they're on fire, they're dead already because they combusted. That would perhaps explain why no one's running around the room.
Yeah, maybe she just passed out or died or something.
If this was the only isolated case, that maybe. But there's every one of these. The surroundings aren't damaged, and they're just contained to the little small area. I don't think she could have sat still while she was cremated. I think being on fire would wake anybody up.
Dr. Krogman is quoted as saying about the case, quote, "They say truth is stranger than fiction, and this case apparently proves it. I've never heard of anything like it," end quote.
Was this Dr. Rod Serling? Sounds like it's hosting an episode of The Twilight Zone.
I mean, it was quite profound, and I found it poetic.
I've never had a doctor speak to me like that.
Well, what did you want to?
If I showed up and the doctor just started unraveling strange little tales.
They say truth is stranger than fiction. So you
just give me a physical.
You gonna give me some ibuprofen, or?
There's no definitive answer to what happened to Mary Reeser. Did she simply set herself on fire in an unfortunate accident involving a cigarette? Was she a victim of the controversial spontaneous human combustion? Or perhaps the answer lies within something we haven't discovered yet. For now, the unfortunate case of Mary Reeser remains unsolved. Some believe there's so many cases of this happening in such contained, confines of blast radius. The answer could lie
extraterrestrial origin.
What if aliens just get drunk and fly around the universe?
And they're just assholes.
People's skulls and turn them into little
I
pops.
mean, yeah, you can see how aliens would be involved in kind of like shenanigans and like being hooligans like that.
Bodies are weird. I made a little flip book of that's her exploding. That's a fireball!
Alright. Well, I'll leave you here. You're ridiculous. I'm so terrified right now. You're not even a little bit scared right now?
No. What is that noise?
Hello?
It's me, teaching
Alright, so this is the Jonathan Corwin house, one of the most notorious witchcraft judges, but it's more known in a touristy aspect as the witch house now, as you can see the signs right there.
Yeah, they're really going for that.
It definitely has a creepy vibe to it.
It looks pretty cozy, right?
You have a different standard of cozy, I think, than normal people.
Right? Look, on a wintry day like this, that looks very welcoming.
It's a black house, snow hitting it. To me, it's more eerie, but, you know, I see things a little differently than you. So you know what, let's just go in. Yeah.
You're going in first?
Yeah, why not? This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we explore the city of Salem, home of the Salem witch trials, as part of our ongoing investigation into the question, are ghosts real? Right now, we're about to head out to some of the key locations that played a big part in one of the darkest blemishes in American history. And later, I may even present some theories as to why the witch trials may have happened.
That sounds about right.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. This is going to be a blast.
Death, hangings, this has it all.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
More rewards, more savings, more special offers. That's what new Fuel Rewards members get at Shell. Join to save 10 cents per gallon on your first fill, 20 cents per gallon on the second.
All right, let's get into it.
In 1641, the Puritan Legal Code was created and established a hierarchy of crimes. Starting with the worst, the list goes idolatry, witchcraft, blasphemy, murder, poisoning, and bestiality.
These people, no, they're too... Blasphemy. You can kill a man, but if you're like, God, skate.
Ah, Jesus Christ, blow his head off.
Yeah. How many people were poisoning each other?
I don't know how many people were fucking donkeys back then.
Everyone's always like, how could they have done all this? How could they have gone so crazy and killed so many innocent people? Well, here's why. Because they're all insane.
Let's jump forward to January 1692, when 9-year-old Elizabeth Paris and 11-year-old Abigail Williams began exhibiting strange behavior. Elizabeth and Abigail were the daughter and niece of Reverend Samuel Paris, respectively. Reverend Paris was Salem Village's first ordained minister. The two girls' behavior included making odd sounds and screaming, contorting their bodies, and throwing objects. Elizabeth and Abigail reported that an invisible being was biting and pinching them. 11-year-old Ann Putnam and other girls in Salem began acting similarly shortly after.
This may come up in the theories, but is it possible that these girls were very bored?
They were lost in the sauce. That could be the footnote of the whole Salem witch trial.
Lost in the sauce.
Lost in the sauce.
Their behavior was attributed to supernatural causes, according to a doctor's diagnosis. Though, it's worth noting that there was only one doctor in Salem Village, and he could most likely read, but not write.
Oh. That's not good. Doctors need to write.
Yeah, I mean, how's he writing prescriptions?
He's not. He's just pointing at things and saying, yup, that's a witch.
On February 9, 1692, the girls accused 3 women for causing their bizarre outbursts after Jonathan Corwin and John Hathel, both magistrates, pressured the girls into naming the people afflicting them. And as mentioned before, Judge Jonathan Corwin's house is one of the places we're visiting today.
So, this is the actual interior of the house back in the day. This is the parlor. This is apparently where he would discuss accusations.
In front of a big, cozy fireplace.
How are you feeling right now, actually? Is this not cool to you to be in a place?
I love history. So.
Yeah, this is just history brought to life.
Yeah.
Shall we explore more of this house?
Yeah.
Before we get these stairs. So right now we are in the master bedroom. This is where Jonathan and his wife Elizabeth would have slept.
If he could sleep at night.
He slept like a baby, to be honest. In his mind, he was doing the right thing.
Doing the Lord's work.
He was doing the Lord's work, exactly. I know you're not big on energy, but you can kind of feel that there's...
You're nervous right now?
I don't feel amazing. I mean, just considering all the things that happened. You don't feel like a little strange that like one of the most notorious figures in the Salem witch trials slept right there?
That's neat. That's like being in Lincoln's bedroom.
Well, you just compare Jonathan Corwin to Abraham Lincoln.
I mean, they both lived a long time ago.
That's literally the only two things they have in common. Returning to the three accused women, two of them, named Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne, both professed their innocence and would eventually die as a result of the trials. However, the other accused was a woman named Tituba, the slave of Reverend Paris. Strangely, unlike the other two accused women, Tituba actually admitted to afflicting the girls, saying, quote, "The devil came to me and bid me serve him," end quote. So right now we're looking for the foundations of the former house of Reverend Paris, his family, and his slave Tituba.
So this is sort of where this is a hotbed.
This is where it all began. According to a plaque that we found on site, it was in this house in 1692 that Tituba, Reverend Paris's slave, allegedly told the girls household stories of witchcraft. This is it. And we could actually go inside the house.
What's going inside the house?
After you, sir. Holy shit, dude.
Ryan, I'm going in. Yeah, if there was someone practicing witchcraft in this house, they would know.
Yeah. I wonder if that was another part of it. This may have been only part of the house they salvaged. They had to dig it up. And this may just be just a rough outline of the foundation. Actually, let me just take a rough EMF reading. Right after I mentioned taking an EMF reading, our audio recorder picks up a voice possibly saying, "Take it." Actually, let me just take a rough... Is this the voice of Reverend Paris? This is, apparently some people think that ghosts can manipulate electromagnetic fields. I don't know how much I buy into it, but I'm not going to say this is definitively a thing. Right now, it's doing normal readings, apparently. If it goes over 2 milligauss, then we're in some paranormal area, but right now it looks like it's 0. So you can see right there. 0. It's worth mentioning that there are some who believe Tituba was forced to confess and thereby fabricated her testimony. Regardless, Tituba's testimony is the longest in the entire Salem witch trials. She also detailed visions of eerie animals, including red cats, yellow birds, and black dogs. Perhaps most importantly, Tituba added that other witches were also working to harm the Puritans in Salem. With this startling confession, the trials and accusations vaulted forward, giving them a purpose and mission. Tituba was also very accommodating to the judges and claimed to go blind at one moment, a sign that the devil was punishing her for speaking so candidly about him. This showed she was at least trying to fight him. After spending a year and 3 months in jail, Tituba was not indicted and was the very last of the accused to be released. Right now we're referring to the woman named Tituba. We know you admitted to some things that you may not have actually done. There's good evidence to show that you didn't actually do those things you were forced to. Do you have anything to say about that?
Do you think you could get physically harmed out here? Is that part of it?
I don't know. Her owners were evil pieces of shit. Ooh, but...
They lived here too, Ryan.
I know.
They're probably here and they heard you.
I don't like you that... Well, okay, I'm making it worse. Let's find some ghosts.
Tituba, or the Reverend Paris, or any of his family, we are here. Can communicate with you. If ghosts are real, then call our bluff.
They wouldn't know they're a ghost.
Oh. None of them know?
Right after I suggest the dead are unaware they are ghosts, our audio recorder picks up this voice.
Oh.
I don't think they do.
So that's a ghost saying what? And just this particular ghost happens to have a cartoon voice? So if someone's
It does
like...
sound a little bit like Lil Jon.
What? What?
He's upset. He's upset at the notion that he's a ghost. If I were to tell you right now you're dead, I would probably would say, what?
If you want to hit a high note, drink the sabor, modelo chelada, authentic Mexican beer.
Skipping forward, the infamous Special Court of Boyer and Terminer was established by Governor William Phips on May 27, 1692. 8 girls from Salem were afflicted with witchcraft and making accusations. In the court, someone would warn that a witch was about to manipulate a victim, and then the victim would begin to act strangely. In the first trial of this court, Bridget Bishop, an older woman of the community that many considered to be an immoral gossip, was determined guilty of witchcraft and later became the first person executed in the Salem witch trials. Between the months of July and September 1692, 18 more people were found guilty and executed, including 4 men, a rare occurrence in witch trials of the past. One of the accused men was a man named George Burroughs, a Harvard-educated minister who was accused by other alleged witches from Andover of being their mastermind. The claims made in court against Burroughs ranged from bizarre to batshit. The accusers claimed that he was biting them during their testimony. Their bite marks allegedly matched up with Burroughs' teeth.
I guess they would have to pre-bite themselves? Yeah, it's not that hard. They probably just bit themselves and then showed it, and they were like, yep, looks like teeth. Hang them. Yeah, it's true. Don't hang them, but it is peculiar. They didn't have like a dentist on hand. The doctors in town can't even write.
Many people in the court, not just the accusers, claimed to see spirits in the room. One girl claimed the spirits were faces of Burroughs' deceased wives, colored as red as blood, and thirsting for justice to be served to their husband. Finally, the possibility that Burroughs had used an invisibility cloak given to him by the devil was suggested by the Chief Justice.
Oh my Jesus Christ. This is so upsetting.
It's upsetting, but it's kind of funny when you think about it.
Oh my God. If you're an educated man from Harvard who is like, well, surely the Chief Justice will have something reasonable to say about this. Chief Justice, what have you to say?
I seen him use an invisibility cloak. I know he gave it to him. The devil. Before being executed, Burroughs made an emotional speech where he recited the Lord's Prayer without any mistakes. Witches were not supposed to be able to do that, which sowed the seeds of doubt in the crowd gathered. Apparently, this whole site was also the home of George Burroughs.
If you're here, make yourselves known. I'm going to turn out the light. Or just like, bring it some slower.
Alright, I guess it's my turn.
Yeah. Good luck.
I'm gonna scan around. If there's anybody in here right now with me, show me a sign. Maybe move something. Say something to me. I'm gonna turn off my light now. And I'm just gonna let you guys speak. Don't push me though. Alright, here we go. Alright, I'm gonna get out of here really quick. But since I'm leaving, I'm gonna let you know how I kind of feel about you. As I announce that I'm leaving, we pick up another voice, possibly saying, I'm not. But since I'm leaving...
No.
No.
I think it's just people, like it's breathing or it's wind. I honestly think if you want a voice, find a voice. Don't give us garbage.
That's clearly a voice.
It's not a voice.
Okay. I found it to be compelling that it's responding intelligently to things that I'm saying.
Also, I mean, but did you hear that? That was my shoes rubbing together.
Yeah, I know what that
You didn't
sounds
think that
like.
was a ghost?
I'm able to discern what shoes and voices sound like.
Right.
I think I am.
I don't think you
I
are.
think I am. On October 3rd, 1692, Increase Mather implored the court not to consider spectral evidence in the trials. Around the same time, Governor Phips' wife was brought in for interrogation. If you recall, Governor Phips was the man who created the infamous Court of Boyer and Terminer. After Mather's statement and Phips' wife being interrogated, Phips released some of the people jailed for witchcraft, halted all further arrests, and replaced the Court of Boyer and Terminer with the Superior Court of Judicature, which was not permitted to consider testimonies of spectral evidence. Overall, 20 people were executed in the Salem witch trials. 14 of the 20 were women, and only 6 were men. Though official numbers vary, it's possible that a further 13 people perished while in jail on charges of witchcraft. Oddly, all of the accusers were women between 9 and 20 years old. An unusual fact due to the fact that most witch trials saw men doing the majority of the accusations.
I just want to say, when an entire community is basing their decisions around the decisions of 8 little girls.
Don't listen to children. When the hell in history would that ever happen again where a bunch of high school kids go, hey, I think we should burn that building down. I don't like it. It's an evil building. Everyone goes, yeah.
Most importantly, none of the executed ever admitted to witchcraft. One interesting thing to note is that almost all of the people that were executed were not given a proper burial, and instead were buried in unmarked graves somewhere in the area. Where those graves lie, nobody knows. Some believe they may be buried somewhere on Gallows Hill, but regardless, according to Spellbound Tours, a Salem tour company, Gallows Hill has the reputation of being extremely haunted.
So this is Gallows Hill. I've actually always thought it's spookier to imagine seeing a ghost in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's spooky to see a ghost regardless. Alright, this seems like a good spot. We're near the top of the hill. Is there anybody up here besides birds that wants to talk to me and my stupid friend? I don't think this is going to work. I think we're going to have to go to an alternative method.
Okay.
It occurred to me, the reason why ghosts may not talk to me and you is because you're donning a stupid jean jacket and I'm in this pink coat. But if I was in period-specific clothing, maybe they'll actually be friendlier to us. All right.
Well, I feel good. There's no pockets on this. I don't know what to do with my hands.
You don't look too happy.
Come on, ghosts.
Act more natural. Be a Puritan.
This is so dumb.
If there's anybody that wants to come talk to us, now's the time. I heard what happened here. I'm sorry to hear that.
You're ghosts.
What? Engaging in a nice, soft conversation, you broke...
We're your friends.
You gotta break the news to them a little bit. They don't even know they're dead. That's why we're dressed up like this.
So we're tricking them. We're alive, just like you. Let's go down to the pub.
God, you're the worst.
So not a smashing success.
No, this didn't work out as well as I thought it would. I really thought it was gonna work.
We could have researched a little better.
Nobody knows why the witch trials occurred, but there are theories, so let's quickly go over it. The first theory comes from Harvard PhD student Emily Oster, who points to an economic explanation. In the Journal of Economic Perspectives, Emily Oster suggests that the Little Ice Age that lasted between 1550 and 1800 and intensified between 1680 and 1730 caused economic problems that encouraged the population to blame one another for their hardship.
And basically this theory is they just got bored or they needed an outlet.
Yeah, this is what happens when people are passive-aggressive.
This is what happens when people don't have hobbies.
Yeah.
I think that everyone needs a hobby. If you don't have one, you're probably going to start...
Well, they didn't have anything else to do.
That's what I'm saying. They could have played fingers. They could have played ice soccer or something.
The second theory comes from Linda Caporail, that the afflicted girls could have been exposed to a kind of fungus called ergot, which can be found in grains like rye, which cause convulsive ergotism. Convulsive ergotism effects include hallucinations, which are apparently similar to that of LSD, muscle contractions that resemble seizures, vertigo, and crawling and tingling sensations, in addition to rye being commonly grown in the colony. The moisture in the air and the grain's lengthy storage time could have increased the likelihood of ergot infestation. However, the girls showed no other visible signs of this illness, which include disintegrating fingertips.
I don't buy that one.
I mean, like, I think it's nice that someone maybe did their homework and maybe could provide a medical solution to this other than, oh, people are crazy sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more fun to believe that humans are capable of some truly horrific things.
The third theory is that mass hysteria played a part in the witch trials. It's accepted in most literature written about the Salem witch trials that some level of hysteria was at work in Salem during this time. The word hysteria is used throughout most descriptions of the Salem witch trials.
This is like those people in France.
Oh God, you and the fucking people in France.
It's a real thing that happened. All those people danced till they died.
Loosely, it's kind of loosely true.
Not loose. Do you need to look up the body count on that thing?
I'll look it up
Those
again.
people fucking danced until they died.
That's true. Well, if you're gonna go out, that's a good way to go out.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you think, John, would happen if people asked for help more often?
I think if men begin to ask,
And danced until they died. That's true.
Well, if you're gonna go out, it's a good way to go out.
Yeah, that's true.
The fourth theory comes from one of the people in the community at the time of the trials. A Salem merchant named Robert Califf accused Reverend Paris of exploiting the trials for socio-political gain in the community. He proposed that Reverend Paris forced his slave Tituba to admit to witchcraft so he could use the resulting paranoia to seize back his diminishing power in Salem Village.
I love this theory.
It's a pretty strong one.
It's a strong one, and it came from someone in the community at that time.
Yeah.
I wonder if he got shot after he said that.
I don't know.
I haven't heard about him since, so he probably died.
To wrap up the theories, and I hesitate to even list it as a theory, but I imagine, considering the fact that people at the time believed it, and because there's been so many movies about it, there are some out there that actually entertain the idea that Salem witches were a real thing. And I would like to express my own opinion on this notion. No fucking way.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for once.
Wait, did you actually entertain the idea that I may believe in witchcraft?
It's really not that outlandish to think that you would believe that.
In the end, nobody knows for sure what caused the Salem witch trials, but what is known for certain are the unjust fates of the victims. In 1957, the state of Massachusetts apologized for the Salem witch trials. In 1992, 300 years after the trials, the Witch Trials Memorial in Salem was dedicated by Nobel laureate author and Holocaust survivor Elie Wiesel.
All right, so right now we're at the Witch Trial Memorials. Every one of these benches has a name on it of someone who was either executed or died in jail during the trials. As you can see, it's quite a bit. Obviously, these are here because they don't know where the bodies are, for most of them. So that's why the benches are here. Let's see if we can clear a couple. Yeah, just Mary Parker hanged September 22nd.
It's a lot of people. This is pretty crazy.
You know, when you're standing in here and like in this little empty courtyard, you just see all the benches. It really is spooky, but also like beautiful in a way. This is eerie. Yeah. And I don't know if I feel uncomfortable just because of the avalanche of history that's happening and converging in this spot, or if it's because there's nothing here. But either way, I'd like to leave.
Yeah.
Okay. After all these years, the questions remain. Are there spirits left behind from Salem's troubled history? Why did these trials even happen? Both questions may forever remain unsolved.
All I'm saying, if there's a town full of people who are all like you, this is what happens.
I feel like if there was
people start dying.
If there was a town of people who all thought like I did back in the day, I don't think anything would get done because they'd hear a lot of the howling and the bloods, and they'd just be like, oh fuck, and they'd just run, and they'd all eventually die by themselves.
So start killing each other. If there were a town full of me in Puritan times, we'd have landed on the moon in 1790.
I don't think so.
Absolutely.
I think you'd all just sit around and talk bullshit all day. Just sit in the town circle and, you know,
talk about,
stroke each other about mathematical equations and science.
Math, but yeah.
There you go.
Over.
Into the carriage house.
On down faces so
I could just never stay anywhere nice.
taste. Don't the kill will spoil. And not let it walk away.
No, you're gonna scare the ghosts away. You may, I don't know. You can definitely smell the age.
Soul and
holy
down, hold
It's a
down.
jacuzzi tub! Right, this is the best place ever. Weird. Ghostbuster?
We never ghostbusted anywhere.
Wake Up BuzzFeed and Solve, we investigate the Dauphine Orleans Hotel in New Orleans, Louisiana, as part of our ongoing investigation into the question, are ghosts real? Right now we're staying in a hotel rated with interesting history and a cast of characters unlike anything we've seen thus far.
Like a ghost sitcom.
You could say that.
Sign me up. Let's do it.
Located a block away from the bustling Bourbon Street, the site of the Dauphine Orleans may date back as far as 1775. Parts of the hotel that exist today that were built in the early 1800s. Many of the buildings that today comprise the Dauphine Orleans Hotel used to be private residences, as well as a bordello. In fact, before 1898, brothels and gambling houses were said to spread across most of the city. A man by the name of Sidney Story created legislation that confined the city's sinful hobbies to a 16-block region, making prostitution and gambling legal within the confines of that area. Ironically, this 16-block precinct would be named after Sidney Story and was dubbed Storyville, a fact I'm sure he was far from pleased with.
He didn't like drinking.
He didn't like
debauchery.
activity. He didn't like debauchery. He wouldn't have liked us in Bourbon Street the other day.
I stole them off the woman who died in the Titanic! Decorative!
That's well covered. It's said that Storyville was riddled with crime, sometimes at the hands of the prostitutes themselves. The hotel as a whole seems to be active. Visitors and employees claim that doors lock themselves shut. Footsteps can be heard. Shadows follow you.
Shadows do tend to follow you. That's sort of how it works.
During the Civil War, soldiers were said to stay on the premises, often while recovering. There are multiple accounts of the spirits of Civil War soldiers seen in different places in the hotel. However, the most haunted area of the hotel is undoubtedly the hotel bar, May Bailey's place, which was actually a well-known bordello at the edge of the aforementioned Storyville. Just think of all the activity that went down here back in the day. This place was booming with music, booming with some other stuff. It was also booming with lots of other stuff. The madam of the bordello was May Bailey, and the original city license was issued in 1857 and still remains on display today. You have lovely penmanship, May.
Well, I can't skip ads.
And there is, of course, the mayor.
Is his name Chad?
No, I don't. Oh, shit, it may be Chad, actually.
Were there Chads back
I
then?
don't know. Confederate soldiers are often seen near May Bailey's place, perhaps due to the fact that it was a brothel they frequented in the past. Most of the ghosts in the bar are said to be May's employees or ladies of the night.
Gentlemen have claimed that they feel somebody trying to touch their leg underneath the bar.
I was expecting something else considering the history.
Just leg, just leg.
Ryan is afraid of you. I think you should show them that you demand to be respected.
I do respect them.
I never knew this was that easy.
Fucking Davey.
The previous bartender told me about the activity around the bathroom area. They said that people would get locked in or out of the bathrooms, which sounds weird.
Is it like something's holding the door shut?
I'm not sure. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna put it right here.
Put him down.
Okay. If there's anybody in here, now's the time to let us know.
What? Jesus Christ. You set the thing on the sink and it moved.
Oh, was that what that was?
Yeah. That's all that's happening.
Put that there.
Oh, shit. You gotta fucking calm down, man.
Another active area of May Bailey's is a little library section where a ghost is said to knock books off shelves.
Ghost 101. 1, knock book off shelf. Week 2, hold a candlestick in the middle of a hallway. 3, sheets.
You're just
Ghost
you're
number
just going
4.
for
What do we
haunted
got?
mansion at Disney.
No, I'm not.
All right, we're gonna leave now. Please don't follow me.
Follow.
Great. Okay.
If you can't catch him here, just follow him home all the way to California.
Stop telling the ghost to follow me home.
He's got a... Did you hear footsteps up above?
Yeah, but there's no one up above.
The bordellos? Did you hear?
I fucking heard a footstep. Well, just go up there. We'll find out, I guess.
Arguably the most horrifying part of the hotel is the Bordello Suite, which is upstairs in May Bailey's, a place where the girls would take patrons to perform services.
And the door's open.
Was it open before?
Nope.
I do not like this room at all. Many report feelings of unrest in here, and an employee that has worked at the hotel for over 30 years refuses to go in there to this day.
Is this another bathroom? Oh. Okay. Does it stink? No, I just got lightheaded.
Oh.
Stay in there.
Wait, what? Wait a second, what are you doing?
Hang on.
Oh no.
Turn out your light.
Oh my god. Is there anybody in here with me?
Ryan is out there. He's probably freaking out.
Alright. Let's do it. Walk up.
Oh boy. Oh god, my fucking light just died. God damn it.
Turn back on, please. Please. Shane, is your lockout? Is your lock-in done?
No, I've just got another 2 minutes.
Fuck, come back out. Come back out.
I've got 2 more minutes.
No. This is one of the best days of my life. We're good.
Okay.
Dude, I thought I saw something flying in front of me, but...
Huh?
It doesn't matter. I freaked out. It's because I thought something flew in front of me, but it may have just been a reflection of my light turning off.
If you don't want us to be here, send us a sign.
Why you gotta phrase it like that? That's just how I'm phrasing it. I'm sorry I'm in here. Whoa. Did your fucking light just turn out? Oh my god, I just got the fucking chills. God. Oh no.
This isn't even a mag light.
Oh god, I keep gonna cry. Was that you telling us to leave?
Hey, there it goes. Hi. Ghost, I'm beginning to suspect that you're not real. Call it a hunch, but I've sat in a lot of dark rooms with this guy talking to the air.
Right after Shane speaks, our audio recorder picks up a voice possibly saying, "I'm right there."
But I've sat in a lot of dark rooms with this guy talking to the air.
Could this be one of the patrons of this former bordello?
Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely a noise. I don't think it's smelling in the sense it doesn't sound like a voice. It also kind of goes right into your voice though, which makes me think you're just like,
When we both talk, it sounds so much different than our voices.
so take it if you want. You can have it.
I think it's saying, I'm right there. You can...
Another famous ghost at the hotel is said to be the younger sister of May Bailey, Millie. The story goes that Millie's fiance was shot in a gambling dispute on the morning of their wedding.
The morning before their wedding, and he's like, you know what I'll do? I'll get real drunk and go play some cards with some shady fellas.
I'll get you more tables.
That's him because you killed him. Tell my wife I love her. Well, she's not my wife. Yeah.
It's said that Millie's grief consumed her as she continued to wear the wedding dress after the incident. Millie is reportedly seen in her dress by hotel guests to this day, earning her the name the Lost Bride of the Docking Orleans Hotel. Now it's time to move to the final phase of the investigation, spending the night in the hotel. As I mentioned before, some of the site's original structures still stand today, and the carriage rooms are the oldest part of the existing building. But more importantly, according to the hotel, the carriage rooms used to be an extended rear wing of May Bailey's, and chillingly was the part where May and her sister Millie actually lived.
May and Millie. We're gonna turn off the light now. Really, it's your time to run amok.
Oh, shit. I didn't take a shit. I just realized what I've gotten myself into again.
You know, a ghost has probably whispered point blank in your ear, but you probably never heard it because you were busy going, what did I do? Oh, Ryan, what did I do? What are you doing? You always get yourself into these things. Come on, rip my skull out of my head. Pull my bones out and melt them in front of my face. Are we doing more of this, or can I use the jacuzzi hot tub that we've been blessed with?
Are you serious?
Are we gonna spend the night here and not use that?
The jets don't work. We're just two guys sitting in a tub.
So how do you feel about it?
I'm delighted because this is the first place we've ever slept that has just a modicum of luxury.
This is luxury?
Yeah. You see the size of that bed?
Yeah, I saw the size of the bed. You
We
stand
slept on a dirt floor on the Queen Mary.
It doesn't
It was
matter.
covered in rat hair.
It's true.
This is incredible.
This is fine. I'm still gonna have a hard time sleeping in that room. It's so dark in here. Did you see that? Alright. Well, should we do this?
Yeah.
As an older adult, I didn't want to spend all my time binge watching television, so I said, let me go back to school. I have a son who actually also graduated from the Purdue Global Program. He did it. I'm like, oh, I can do it too.
Well, should we do this?
Yeah.
That's the balcony outside, right? Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go out there. I want to see if someone's actually out there. Oh, fuck. There's nobody out here. Maybe there's somebody in those rooms? But I don't see any movement.
While listening for footsteps, we pick up a strange voice speaking something unknown.
Maybe this is a lost cause.
Is this the voice of May or Millie? Or perhaps one of the Civil War soldiers who frequented the bordello?
It sounds like someone's swallowing.
It sounds not even close to my voice. It's a different octave. It sounds like a machine almost. It's very electronic. There's so many different things and properties about that voice that would prove it's not me. It almost sounds like there's a TV on.
You make it sound like you're listening to a recording of Pavarotti. It's a tiny little click noise.
Look, listen to it again. It's a voice and it's electronic. I don't know what it's saying.
Is it Daft Punk?
It's not, yes, Daft Punk. The
Is it
DJ's Daft Punk came into our suite at night and gave me a little ditty. That's what happened.
Holy shit. This is insane. It's fucking 5:15 in the morning.
Chills. Is this not alarming to you, Shane? What the fuck?
Jesus. Between Shane snoring and this goddamn ghost. Gonna kill somebody. A nice morning sky. Let's leave. What if we find out that there's actually nobody even staying above us?
Alright, this place is strange.
After, Shane returned to our normal hotel down the street, but I was still bewildered by the footsteps, so I stayed back to investigate the only 2 rooms above our hotel room, only one of which was occupied. Hi, I just had a quick question. I'm staying downstairs, under you, and just out of curiosity, did you happen to be walking around? Oh, okay, I'm a little spooked. I thought it was...
cabin. He wasn't walking, and not only was he not walking, he's been spooked too because he's wondering where the creaking and walking is coming from. Well.
Is he not pacing?
Not only was he not pacing, but he said, yeah, we've been staying here the past couple days. I've been pretty freaking spooked.
I think it's just embarrassed.
No.
Yeah. He was probably pacing around. It's a ghost, right? You're right. With a ghost marching around for 7 hours. Non-stop.
Yes, because that's what ghosts do. That's it? That's all you have to say for yourself?
I think that man was just walking around.
Okay. You're stupid for this.
It's worth mentioning that after this investigation, I spoke to a New Orleans ghost tour guide about hauntings at the Dauphine, and she mentioned an angry Confederate soldier who walks around all night long and even stomps. Was this possibly the source of the footsteps that I heard in our room that night? Given the rich history of this hotel, it's no wonder that many feel the numerous presences that once frequented these halls. And after spending a sleepless night there, I won't argue that something is off at the Dauphine Orleans Hotel. But whether or not it's definitively haunted will remain unsolved.
It's not haunted.
How do you know that?
I know it's not haunted.
You don't know that for sure.
It's not haunted.
You say that everywhere we go.
And guess what?
You're like a stupid string puppet that I could just bring along with me, and I'd just pull it when I want to hear something dumb.
It's not haunted. Right, it was an idiot. Okay, that's the kind of merchandise.
I'm saying you'll see them again.
The DraftKings Casino app is the place for jackpots and across all my favorite games, not just slots. With all these ways to win big, I feel like one of those high rollers at a casino. Whoa! I like my wins too. I think
That's 100%. That's 100%. I don't want to murder.
I never said I wanted to murder you. Kill me. That's a good idea. Lock ourselves in the room. I'm leaving. Too late. Lost your chance. This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we cover the practice of voodoo. Can it actually be used to contact spirits? Right now, we're sitting on top of Lake Pontchartrain in New Orleans, a city rich with voodoo history. And later, we'll actually attempt to use voodoo to try and contact spirits. We're going to have a good teacher with the students.
Okay, all right.
We've got a lot to cover, and I really don't know what to expect, so let's get into it.
The origins of voodoo are unknown, but most agree it came from West Africa, particularly the region of Benin, where the word voodoo means spirit.
So right now we're at Voodoo Authentica. It's an authentic voodoo shop, as the name would suggest, and we're going to learn a little bit about voodoo. It's a push. I didn't see the sign.
Let's go over the basics. It is believed voodoo derives from the tradition of ancestor worship and animism, the belief that nature and inanimate objects contain consciousness. Voodoo practitioners believe in one God, and that there are many spirits who have power over humans and nature. Voodoo practitioners believe in one God, nature. They are referred to as Loa.
We have more than 25 recording altars.
Okay, what do you mean by altars?
These are places that people come and pray and leave gifts at for specific spirits. Each Orisha and Loa have their own spheres of influence. This one over here looks very feminine. Very feminine. Yeah, she is love and attraction. She's more the pulling towards you of love.
Oh, it seems like some people put little tiny relics or gifts. Other people just straight up like the uncle on your birthday who just gives you money. Just throwing down. And what else we got?
Oh, the bubbly. Even in the afterlife, it is appreciated.
While voodoo has gotten a bad reputation over years of misinformation, it is actually a very positive practice and is often used to call on spirits to help the sick and needy and guide one through life's struggles.
So the negative connotation, that's all.
You know, people think voodoo is used as this evil thing where I'm going to make a little Shane doll and then throw it into the ocean and watch him drown. And then I'd really smile while he's sinking. Wait, what? Stuff like that.
You just said that this is not what they're used for.
Yeah, I know. But if they were used for that,
you would kill me. You would murder.
It's a hypothetical. I wasn't thinking of doing that.
Right,
Smile.
sometimes we argue on this show. I don't want to murder.
I never said I wanted to murder
You want
you.
to kill me.
It's just a hypothetical situation.
I didn't even tell me about voodoo. Now that I know you want me dead.
I didn't ever. You know what?
This feels great.
Voodoo would eventually make its way to America via the slave trade, and New Orleans would eventually play home to perhaps the biggest figure in American voodoo history, Marie Laveau, also known as the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans.
It's said that her spirit walks in Sapphire Cemetery. Obviously, we can't get in because a lot of people vandalized the tomb.
But we can't see her actually.
No, but we can be at the gates, so to speak, spiritually and physically. Marie!
Oh, really? Okay. Marie!
Marie!
No, that's not.
Marie! Can you see over this normally without jumping?
Actually, yeah.
It was here at Lake Pontchartrain in New Orleans that Marie Laveau would hold voodoo gatherings on the shores. Journalists would spread stories of infamous orgies and sacrificial rituals that would occur in this lake on St. John's Eve.
Sacrificial rituals.
And enormous orgies.
I don't know why that one slipped by me. I was like, yeah, sure, orgies. Tell me about ritual.
The negative connotations of voodoo proliferated by the media likened voodoo to savagery, and towards the end of the 19th century, voodoo had to go underground in New Orleans. Now that we've established the history of voodoo in New Orleans, let's get into the actual practice of it. One of New Orleans' more famous practitioners is a woman named Bloody Mary. Lucky for us, she has agreed to teach us the ways of the spiritual world.
Holy moly.
As you can see, the house is quite a sight.
That is huge.
It's actually supposed to be haunted itself. I imagine because of all the communication that happens here.
Oh, yeah, it's probably like a hotspot or something, huh?
There.
Hello.
Oh.
Hi.
I'm Trey.
Ryan, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Ryan. Shane, nice to meet you. Spirits, Ryan, Shane. I am initiated as Mambo Asagwe, which is the highest level in Haitian voodoo, as well as Queen of New Orleans tradition.
This is an amazing room.
Thank you. It's got good energy. I'm glad you're not afraid of it.
No, I'm not afraid yet.
Good, good.
This house was really nice to me.
Yeah, it's true. Some people just are afraid of things that feel different than what they're used to. You know, and automatically jumping into the dark or just because it's, you know, vibratory, it's different.
Yeah.
And you have to get that out of your head and just let it flow.
I'm very fascinated and interested, and I'm not afraid of these things.
I think you might need to trust.
That's 100%.
That's 100%.
We both just have to go blank.
We're both on the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, we need to just
find the middle, find your balance. That's what the world needs to do, by the way. Find the balance, you know? Oh, in fact, I'm going to give someone out. I'm going to feed the spirits. I'll give them libations. We might drum, we might dance to the spirits and the others to dance.
So now that we've established the basic history of voodoo, what are we getting into tonight?
What I do is created, I call them comparable. So I mix old school with new school. Basically, I just open gates, and when we're done, I close gates. So I want them to come out while we're there, and then I want them to go back and do what they got to do when they're done in my phone.
So this is sort of a night out with spirits.
Yeah.
New Orleans is unique due to their above-ground cemeteries. The cemeteries are sometimes referred to as the cities of the dead.
It's fascinating how people that don't even consider themselves psychic are to pick right up on what's going on or what went on.
I'm definitely not psychic. I'm just a guy who's interested in this stuff and gets a little dizzy sometimes.
I still think that everyone is psychic, just in different abilities. It's a natural part of us as humans.
It's only appropriate that we would walk by these cities, making ourselves familiar with the spirits of the melting pot of New Orleans, before ultimately reaching out to them in a location that was one of the spiritual beacons of the city, the former site of the Voodoo Spiritual Temple.
Why are you knocking?
I always knock. That's a ritual gesture, letting them know we're coming, warning them.
Is this a thing you recommend for anyone?
Yes, it's kind of a thing of respect. It's a very simple ritual gesture. Knock it 3 times. Let them know you know they're there, they're there. Yes. Knock it the way in, knock it the way out. Come on in.
Built
Since in 1829, this two-story cottage has gone through many incarnations, with the Voodoo Temple being the most recent. However, on February 1st, 2016, the temple suffered a tragic electrical fire and now lies vacant.
So this is the mirror image of the other side.
Yeah.
So a lot more construction going on here. This would have been Priestess Miriam's spiritual temple.
So we're looking at bare bones right now.
Bare bones, just put the sheetrock up and left some of the original 200-year-old brick walls exposed for you. I'm going to go through this threshold and I'm going to lay the floor too. So I'm going to do that ritually. I'm going to have you walk through. Have you walk through. Okay.
Why would you look so scared already?
I've been more comfortable.
I'm in, Ryan. I see that. Oh, look at that.
Okay. So let's see if we could find anything. That's a gear.
Yeah, turn around.
Oh. That's good. That's good.
No. What are we doing in this room?
Reaching out.
Okay.
Apparently this was a gift shop in the former Voodoo Spiritual Temple.
We sell like magnets and stuff.
After I mentioned we're standing in the former Voodoo Temple gift shop, we pick up a voice possibly saying, yeah, Voodoo Spiritual Temple.
We sell like magnets and stuff.
I mean, to be fair, full disclosure, this place was on a street, and there were people walking past here and there. So,
sure.
Just want to put that out there.
We also pick up a strange whimper.
You want to say anything in here, little guy?
What about to the giant? What about to the giant?
I do find that more compelling than any other notebooks you've dug up. But again, we are on a street.
What on the street could possibly make that noise? And first off, that does not sound distant. This one sounds like it's literally in the room with us. What about to the giant? Anytime I get you to do that shrug, it means I'm
That's a victory for you?
It's a great point. It makes my heart warm. Bizarrely, while the first floor of the building served as a voodoo temple, the second floor was rented out as an apartment and is also reportedly haunted. There's accounts of footsteps, shadows, and rocks being thrown. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
That's Jody.
The dog?
Mm-hmm.
What's her deal?
She will be the overseer of the haunted nursery of dolls that I'm going to have.
I'm gonna buy you one of those
Is there a reason why there's a circle of rocks in this little door?
Maybe. It's really weird.
What's that?
I just didn't know any of the electric was on.
Oh.
So that is weird.
That's good.
I didn't, huh. Can you reach up and pull a string and see what happens? That's weird. The switches. I haven't turned on. Well, there hasn't been electric in here in over a year because of the fire. Any physical sensations that you're feeling in there?
Ryan, put away your fear and just focus on what you feel. What's in this chair?
Oh, I hate
Nothing
this.
brown and brown. Isn't that pleasant?
Okay.
This way you can stop yourself like you did. If you can do that in the middle there, you are kind of go with that.
That's where you get to that spirit world.
I'm gonna just close my eyes and just... I'm bad. I want to be swept up in this. I don't believe in something outside the norms of, physics.
You sense it.
I don't sense anything dark in this room. I don't
I'm
feel...
not asking about anything dark. It doesn't have to do with dark.
I feel happier. Ryan's having a rough time today. Poor guy.
Any reason why you think you feel happy?
Because I'm not scared of him. To my head. Maybe it's because there's something there. It feels like it's scared too, maybe. I feel like a little kid.
And have you ever been a scared kid?
Yeah, all the time. I took an improv comedy class once because I'm a white guy, and they said, just get out of your head. I can't. It's a prison.
Do you know what the source of that fear when it began?
You know, I always felt like somebody was watching me in the dark. I've always kind of think about stuff, Like this mannequin and stuff. What's he doing here? Yeah, I'm not making it up. Let's go see what Ryan's doing.
Well, there's probably a source that triggered it when you were a child. You find that source, you might dissolve some of your fears.
I'm returning.
He's channeling. And you are correct. Little boy, I call him Abe. He had requested stones, 10 stones. Actually, he requested jacks. I'm going to go for a while and go grab something. The vagal world doesn't get in. The spirit world is in your hands until I get back.
While Shane and I go change batteries, our audio recorder continued rolling inside the little boy's cupboard. It picked up some peculiar noises. What if he talked when we were gone? Oh my god, I just got the chills thinking about it. That's fucking crazy. Kind of hear the whispering there? No. There, right there. You hear that?
With the wood or whatever?
The cupboard, yeah.
So the takeaway here is every little sound is a ghost.
No, the takeaway here is that sounds that don't belong in that environment may or may not be ghosts.
Okay. I'm gonna side with me now. Anybody else here at all? Turn the light out. My jacket just moved in a way that it felt like somebody touched me on the shoulder. And if I think you had felt it, you would scream. Turn the light out now.
Wait, did you actually just comment on something that you don't know?
No, I said it was the way my jacket moved. Like, you're wearing a jean jacket? These things are...
There it is. Yeah. I was just waiting for the logical explanation. There you go. Although this second floor apartment is the apparent home of a little boy, it was actually the real home of two other individuals. And in 2006, this apartment would play home to perhaps the most grisly murder in New Orleans history, earning it the name the Rampart Street Murder House. This is the room where there was just writing all over the wall. What's that? He painted on the wall.
Oh, he did? Did you see any of this stuff?
I don't think so. On October 5th, 2006, Zachary Bowen brutally murdered and dismembered his girlfriend and roommate, Addie Hall. He jumped to his death off the Omni Royal Orleans Hotel roughly 11 days later. Police found a suicide note on his body that read, quote, "This is not accidental. I had to take my own life to pay for the one I took. If you send a patrol car to 826 North Rampart, you will find the dismembered corpse of my girlfriend Addie in the oven. On the
Alright,
stove,
I am done.
fridge, and a
Jason
full-size
Todd.
confession from
This
myself.
was not my best art of him, but it's art of him. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night and day, whatever time zone it is for you.
Unfortunately, it's the same stove and oven
Bye-bye.
as